So what do you think the solution is to the jobs that are going to be lost because of AI and robotics? The jobs due to automation, the jobs due to no longer do we need human beings to do these jobs because AI is doing them. Do you think it's going to be some sort of a universal basic income thing? Do you think there's going to be some other kind of solution that has to be implemented?
In one of his recent podcasts, Joe Rogan asked Elon Musk about what he thinks would happen to the people who might lose their jobs due to AI and robotics. Guess what Uncle Elon said? Well, it doesn't make sense, but since you're smarter than I am, I'll let you listen to him and tell me what you think.
So I came to the conclusion that the only way to get us out of the debt crisis and to prevent America from going bankrupt is AI and robotics. So, we need to grow the economy at a rate that allows us to pay off our debt. I guess people just generally don't appreciate the degree to which the government overspending is a problem. But even the Social Security website, this is under the Biden administration. On the website, it would say we based on current demographic trends and how much money Social Security is bringing in versus how many Social Security recipients there are, because we have an aging population, relatively speaking, the average age is increasing. Social Security will not be able to maintain its full payments, I think, by 2032. So Social Security will have to start reducing the amount of money that's been paid to people in about 7 years.
And so the only way to fix that, robotics, manufacturing, raise GDP.
You've got to basically massively increase the economic output, and the only way to do that is AI and robotics. So basically, we're going bankrupt without AI and robotics, even with a bunch of savings. The savings, like reducing waste and fraud, can give us a longer runway, but it cannot ultimately pay off our national debt.
So what do you think the solution is to the jobs that are going to be lost because of AI and robotics? The jobs due to automation, the jobs due to no longer do we need human beings to do these jobs because AI is doing them. Do you think it's going to be some sort of a universal basic income thing? Do you think there's going to be some other kind of solution that has to be implemented? Because a lot of people are going to be out of work, right?
I think there will be actually a high demand for jobs, but not necessarily the same jobs. So, this process has been happening throughout modern history. There used to be doing calculations manually with a pencil and paper. It used to be a job. So they used to have buildings full of people called computers, where the banks would all you do all day is you do calculations, because they didn't have computers. They didn't have digital computers that people
Abacus.
do. Yeah, well, it was just people would just add and subtract stuff on a piece of paper, and that would be how banks would do financial processing. And
you'd have to literally go over their equations to make sure the books are balanced.
Yeah, and most times it's just simple math. In a world before computers, how did you calculate? How did you do transactions? You had to do them by hand. So then, when computers were introduced, the job of doing, bank calculations no longer existed. So people had to go do something else. And that's what's going to happen. That's what is happening at an accelerated rate. Due to AI and then robotics.
That's the issue, though, right? The accelerated rate, because it's going to be...
It's the accelerated... It's just happening. Like I said, AI is the supersonic tsunami. So that's what I call it, supersonic tsunami. So
it's what other jobs will be available that aren't available now because of AI?
Well, AI... is really still digital. Ultimately, AI can improve the productivity of humans who build things with their hands or do things with their hands, like literally welding, electrical work, plumbing, anything that's physically moving atoms. like cooking food or farming or like anything that's physical, those jobs will exist for a much longer time. But anything that is digital, which is like just someone at a computer doing something, AI is going to take over those jobs like lightning.
Coding, anything along those lines. Yeah,
it's going to take over those jobs like lightning. Just like digital computers took over the job of people doing manual calculations, but much faster.
So what happens to all those people? Like, what kind of numbers are we talking about?
Just a moment before we listen to the rest of what the smartest human alive has to say. You see, whenever you ask the Silicon Valley aliens who are building AI what jobs they think the rest of us would do in the future, they always give you some silly, senseless, stupid history that doesn't make sense. But what do I mean? Well, when Elon Musk talked about banks calculating money manually before computers, the questions we should ask him is, what percentage of the world worked in banks in 1642 when the calculator was invented, or even in the 1970s when computers became a thing? You know the answer? Less than 1%. So let me ask you, if 1% of the world lost their jobs to a new technology, how difficult would it be for that new technology to provide even more jobs? That's what happened with the calculator, computer, or even automobile. But guess what? We're currently working on a technology that might threaten the job of 50% of humans. How can we compare that to manual calculations in the bank?
So what happens to all those people? Like, what kind of numbers are we talking about? Like, you're going to lose most drivers, right? Commercial drivers, you're going to have automated vehicles, AI-controlled systems, just like there's certain ports in China, I think in Singapore, where everything's completely automated.
Yeah, mostly,
Yeah. So you're going to lose a lot of those jobs, longshoreman jobs, trucking, commercial drivers.
But yeah, like cars are going to be autonomous. But there's just so many desk jobs where really what people are doing is they're processing email, or they're answering the phone, and just anything that isn't moving atoms, like anything that is not physically, like doing physical work. That will obviously be the first thing. Those jobs will be and are being eliminated by AI at a very rapid pace. And ultimately, working will be optional because you'll have robots plus AI, and we'll have, in a benign scenario, universal high income, not just universal basic income. Universal high income, meaning anyone can have any products or services that they want.
If anyone watching this video believed that one day they would have a universal high income, I mean, you have to be on some drugs to even believe that. Anyway, let's read the comments. Someone wrote, AI will feed the rich, the poor will die off. Another person wrote, the idea that the elites and controllers will share their vast wealth is laughable. It has never happened in the entirety of human history. They are by nature hoarders and disconnected from the needs and challenges faced by the majority population. It is unlikely that UBI will ever happen. They won't even house and provide for homeless army veterans. And institutions habitually refine themselves to take more and give less. There are no top-down solutions. Top-down thinking and top-down solutions are why we're in this mess. They want everybody on benefits. Let that one sink in. For a reason so dark, you're nuts if you think the politicians will hand out universal high income. The future used to be in technology, computing, etc. Now the future is in physical labor, plumber, electrician, builder, etc. We've gone full circle. No one is coming to save you. Prepare yourself accordingly. If the government can't afford to pay social security, then how can they afford UBI? Doesn't sound like a world built for humans if you ask me. That's it for today. When next my genius friend says something that dumb person like me wants to comment on, I'll be back on your screen.